Yes. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Bhadram Karne Vishruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pakshe Makshabharyajatraha Sthirairangai Sushtva Gumsastanubihi Vishema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashavaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha स्वस्ति नः सार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति शांति शांति. So last time we saw 6th and 7th, right? Noise, I want to. Not. Any questions, clarifications, or is all fine? Pretty simple, straightforward. What happens when a jnani dies? Okay. Yeah. Okay, with that much, let's go forward. So now he is giving you an example in terms of what he had said, wise person, at death of a wise person, etc. Remember, we are constrained to say death of a wise person, etc. It is only from the standpoint of his body and mind. Okay, that has to be clear, not from the sense of I that he has. Okay, just to clarification. Then he says, Yatha nadhyaha sendamana samudre astam gachanti namurupe vihaya tatha vidwan namurupadi vimuktaha parat param purusham upaiti divyam. A nice example. It's also scary for people. Yatha nadhyaha, rivers, syandamanaha, that are flowing, not stagnant. In fact, stagnant is not a river. Okay, the flowing river, samudre astam gachanti, and it reaches the ocean, astam gachanti. The river is no more the river. Nama rupe vihaya. Whether the Ganga is joining the ocean or the Kaveri is flowing into the ocean. Ganga is no more Ganga, Kaveri is no more Ganga. Tatha, similarly, Vidwan, Namarupa Vimuktaha, free from Namarupa. He was an entity. He had a name. He had a history. All that given up. Parat Param Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Parat Param Purusham Upaiti. Parat Paraha, higher than the highest. Meaning the pure reality, the consciousness. Upaiti, Divyam consciousness. Upaiti, he reaches, he gains. Popularly called as moksha. Now, if Nama Rupe Vihaya, if you say, for whom is moksha then? The guy is not there. Jivan Mukta I can understand. Jivan Mukta I can understand, okay. But this after death, where is moksha then? He is not there to enjoy moksha. See, when an Ajnani dies, he goes to some dimension, he is there. Sukha, Dukkha, whatever, he is there. High champion. Here, champion is not there. Then for whom is moksha? Don't say moksha is for the Atma. Atma doesn't need to be muktaha. फिर मोक्षा किधर गया?
Moksha is siddham. It is only not understanding it.
Yeah, but now that I understood, so I lived as Jivan Mukta. अच्छा है, मजा आया. Jivan Mukta, to live as Jivan Mukta, great fun.
Yes.
It is like entering your dream with the knowledge of the waking. बहुत मजा आता है. But once you are gone, yes, upadhi of body, mind gone. You are one with consciousness. Now, where are you?
But till the Vidya Mukti is attained,
This youngster has given a right answer. I remain as I am always. Only Nam Rupe Vihaya. You are the pure consciousness even while living, and after death, what happens? You are still the same consciousness. The sense of I had moved from the body and mind to pure consciousness, even while living. See, because we think moksha, we all hear also this, and some modern teachers talk also like that. Okay? Your individuality is given up. The individuality is given me, फिर किसके लिए मोक्ष है? You become one with Brahman. If you become one with Brahman, retaining your individuality, you are still a finite guy. Then you will create a problem for Brahman. Brahman will have to take some flagell or something and take you out of the system. If you are giving up your identity, for whom is moksha anyway? All these questions come up because people don't understand that the sense of I is now in consciousness, not in body and mind, even while living. Therefore, I am consciousness is clear all the time. Therefore, on death also what happens? I am consciousness. Previously, when I was living, there was an apparent difference because of a body and mind. Now that apparent difference is also gone, I am only consciousness. It is not the death of the I as it is wrongly presented in modern Vedanta. It is not the death of the I. It is that I am pure consciousness. I am that limitless consciousness. Otherwise, nobody will want moksha. You are gone, finito.
Swamiji?
Yeah?
But it cannot be on experiential level for sure because there is nothing to experience.
Yeah, it is not experiential, it is recognition, it is cognitive. But when I say it's cognitive, it's become a fact of your life.
So even after you're gone, you
Yeah.
basically one with consciousness of your
You're gone meaning who is gone now?
the body is gone.
Body and mind is gone. Because mind is resolved into consciousness. And you remain as consciousness. Remember, your identity is with consciousness. Even while living.
So there is no individual identity at all, which
Yeah.
was never there. It is now to understand. As
No, I'm not getting your question. One second.
I am trying to understand what really happens. So because it is once you recognize that you are consciousness.
Okay. While living, I recognized I am consciousness.
Yeah.
But now this consciousness is functioning through this body and mind. Okay? Now I am that consciousness functioning through body and mind. Okay? Body and mind drops. What happens? Does I go or I remain as consciousness?
I remain as consciousness.
I was always consciousness, exactly.
But the difference is that I am trying to understand is right right now when you're looking at consciousness, you're looking at an individual consciousness.
You're trying to, you're making a difference. Again, modern problem. You're trying to make a difference between individual consciousness and total consciousness.
Yeah. So, regarding this, the concept of jiva. where does
Jiva
it
is nothing but consciousness, but under ignorance. Jiva has an ignorance about it. That's why you call him Jiva.
Oh,
Yeah. See, there is no individual consciousness, total consciousness. There is only one consciousness. Like there is only one space. Manifest in your sitting room, manifest in your bedroom. Only one space. Here is where the crux of the issue is. That individual consciousness becomes one with the total consciousness. You will read books like that. Look at it even in the example. What is a Ganga? Nothing but water. What is a Kaveri? Nothing but water. What is the ocean? Nothing but water. So water remains as water. But we are looking at it. This is Ganga separate. This is Kaveri separate. Are you seeing that? Now, with our identification of the duality, we are looking at it and say, oh, it's becoming one. Water is water at all times. There, because in the example there is some time-space limitations.
There will not be any intelligence after
Yeah.
this, right? Am I correct in saying that? Or
Beg your pardon? You
there
speak.
will be no intelligence at individual level, right?
Again, look at where is your identification. Yeah.
I'm thinking so. That's why I'm trying to clarify by asking.
Yeah.
So intelligence is also is at the total level only, because that's how it's
Don't
supposed
forget this total level, individual level. There is only one consciousness. Now speak. Now ask.
consciousness should have intelligence or not have.
Consciousness, when it's manifest in the mind, there is intelligence.
And so post that it will not be manifest.
So that is why you will say it becomes one with Ishvara, etc. Because now the consciousness is manifest through total Maya Shakti. So what is gone? Your apparent difference is gone. That apparent difference is gone, nothing else. Apparent difference. Now for this to be clear, I must understand I am consciousness first. It's like, we find it very difficult to see ourselves as independent of body and mind. You came rushing from work or whatever, you sat for the class straight. Yaar, I didn't even have time for a cup of tea. Okay? You don't have time for a cup. And you don't have anybody at home who will quietly make a cup of tea and come and give it to you, even though your comp is on. Because I don't mind you having a cup of tea when your class is on. That's okay. Online chalega. Now at that time, when you are listening, can you, for the time being, say, forget that tea, let me listen? There, you are a little bit exercising your independence over the demands of the body and mind. Small example. But if you are too caught up in that, I'll say, go, take 5 minutes, make a cup of tea, and then come and sit in the class. Why? Because I need your mind there. If your mind is in tea, Brahman knowledge will not seep inside. The infusion will be tea, not Brahman. Yeah, natural. Natural. I mean, it's a small thing, but in that small thing also you see that. No? Okay. Yeah. So there is where the issue comes in. That to see, therefore, what is our focus? Our focus is not really what happens after death, etc. That is mentioned in the passing to make it clear. Because the pramana has to make all angles clear. What has to be said has to be said. Our focus is recognizing I am consciousness, owning up that knowledge in my life. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Make it a fact of my life. If that is a fact of your life when you are living, if the fact your consciousness is a fact of your life by living, what is the problem of living or dying? It will not be a problem. Yeah. After death, will I remain as consciousness, etc.? Question आएगा ही नहीं. Yeah. Because your consciousness is by living itself. So you are saying there is no birth or death for you. Not that you will not be born again. What we are saying is, right as you obtain today, there is no birth or death. Yeah, I know all of you have a horoscope. And sometimes it can look like a horoscope also. There are times in my life when my horoscope has looked like horoscope. That's okay. But the fact is, there is no birth or death. For that, one has to understand what is Satyam and Mithya. Remember, the whole thing is connected up. Aham Satyam Anyat Sarvam Mithya. Whatever is taken as other than me is Mithya. But it's all a manifestation of Brahman. Yes, manifestations are Mithya anyway. So apparently you are going through birth, death, etc. You can do your past life regression, remember all the births you want, all the death that you want. Not a problem. Where is the problem? I wouldn't advise too much of doing all those things. As it is, there is role confusion. अभी past life का भी गड़बड़ आ जाएगा तो क्या करेगा? Really, you wouldn't know how to relate. Yeah. And anyway, the whole thing was mithya anyway, an apparent manifestation somewhere. So to be clear your consciousness, to make it a fact of your life, that is the important thing. Other things will fall into place. But because these type of doubts and questions can come up, he is clarifying. And I knew that many people have read this thing about merging, becoming one, individual being one with the total, all that stuff. That's why I asked that question. It's natural. These are the Purvapakshas that are there in society. The problem of Kali Yuga is there are a lot of asampradaya with teachers. There are too many pracharaks of Vedanta. Rather than teachers of Vedanta, there are pracharaks of Vedanta. It's okay, they have a role, they create some awareness. But then when you come to more serious learning, you have to negate some of this concept. And if you are holding on to the concept, God save you. और क्या बोलेगा? Okay.
So, Swamiji?
Yeah? Shoot.
If I may ask, for Jnani, is Sarvatma Bhava
Yeah.
knowledge or experience or both?
See, it's a very peculiar situation. You know, there is Sarvatma Bhava, I am everything. It's there. But that's there in the background. Why? Because the foreground is there is a student sitting there and I have to teach. He is non-different from me, that's a fact. But I still have to acknowledge the functioning difference and teach. No? If I don't acknowledge the functioning difference, what will I do? You are also Brahman, I am also Brahman, there is only one Brahman. Kya sikhana hai? Who is teaching whom? Kasya kam pashyet? Kena kam pashyet? Who is seeing whom? Then you have to keep quiet. Mani Baba ban jao. So you have to be aware of both the things, you know. The apparent duality that is there and the obtaining oneness that is there. This is very important to understand. My teacher used to always say this. Dvaita Pratiti is not against Advaita Siddhi. Seeing, experiencing duality is not against the fact of Advaita. Rising sun, sun does not rise. Flat earth, earth is round. So the perception of the rising sun does not make the sun rise. The perception of a flat earth does not make it flat. Therefore, an experience is not fact. That is another problem in the modern world. Experience is taken as everything. You are selling apartments for the experience. Advertisement is all about the experience in that. A flat is meant for other things, not experience. Experience what I do inside the flat. That's fine. Flat, I won't look at practical things, what is there. What a view you will get, you know, until another building comes up there, na, Bombay. Yeah. So, again, so shift my attention from my experience to facts. Mithya experience can be great fun. Who said it's not fun? Enjoy it. But Mithya. And the joy that you are getting there is actually nothing but the manifestation of the self that you are, the Ananda that you are. So these things have to be clear in your mind. You can have all the enjoyment in the world. What's the problem? It is not that if it is Mithya, you cannot be enjoyed. In fact, only Mithya can be enjoyed. Satyam is yourself. Only the Mithya can be experienced and enjoyed. No? Unless you have heard those categories of teachers who will say, it is all Mithya, therefore be careful. It's all Maya, you have to be very careful of Maya. That means they are saying, the snake on the rope is dangerous, I have to be careful of it. Honestly, when I hear such statements, I feel like hanging them up with the same rope. Then they'll realize it's not the snake that is the problem, it's the rope that is the problem. Or rope that is the solution. So, these type of issues come up, and that's where all these things come up. the notions that you have picked up from books, from speakers and things like that, that is where the issue is. Once you take care of that, you are fine. The problem is then when you start listening, now you are listening to everyone. आप भी महात्मा है, वो भी महात्मा है. How do you know what you are saying is right and what you are saying is wrong, or other way around? Correct? I agree. Yeah. So now you deal with it. It's your prarabdha that you have got exposed to two characters. Now up to you, find out. I am saying all this because I was also confronted with all this. In my time also there were all this. Kali Yuga hai na? I was not born in a separate Yuga, so I was also born in Kali Yuga. All these problems are there, I also had to face it. So when somebody is saying, I am a pracharak, I am doing a lot of prachar of Vedanta because I want to popularize it, then you have to understand that teaching may be low. Teaching may be low. For the sake of popularity, they may have compromised with certain things. For the sake of making it popular, not necessarily that they want to be popular. No. To make Vedanta popular, they may have simplified it, compromised certain things, put it in a mystical manner so that it's appealing to people. That's okay. That's all right. And are you going to listen to a pracharaka, which you have done? That's why you came to Vedanta. And now are you going to study it seriously, or are you going to get still stuck in what you heard on the first day? Or when awareness of Vedanta was being created in your mind, are you going to get stuck in that lesson, or are you going to get the new lessons of learning? Swamiji, without that person, I would never have come to Vedanta. I will follow whatever he says blindly. You are welcome to. I mean, India is a free country. You have the choice of doing that. You have the choice of doing that. But then you will remain blind because you are following blindly. मैं क्या करूँ? What can I do? Follow. I'll say a prayer to the Lord. Lord, take care of that guy. I can't take care of him. You have to take care of him. Oh, what else will I say? So, be careful what you are listening to and what is this thing. Okay. All right. Then the next verse, there is a little bit of Arthavada coming in. Okay. Arthavada is based on the truth, but little exaggeration in terms of praise or criticism to highlight the importance of something. So the next verse is that. Sayoha vai tat paramam brahma veda brahmeva bhavati na asya brahmavid kule bhavati tarati shokam tarati papmanam guha grantibhyo vimukto amruto bhavati. Sa yo Havai, Havai etc. is for completing of the meter. Sa, that person, who tat param brahma veda, who has known that param brahma, brahma eva bhavati, is Brahman. Brahmavid, brahma eva bhavati, the knower of Brahman is Brahman. But all translations will put it as becomes Brahman. Look in the book that you have. Look into the book. It's a good book, Ramakrishna Mission books. Anyone who knows that Supreme Brahman becomes Brahman indeed. All books will have it. All books in English will say the same thing. Why? Instead of translating using Sanskrit grammar as it is, they are influenced by their ideas in the translation. Bhavati, third person singular, present tense. Bhu bhava, to be. Third person is, present tense. He has not said Brahmaiva bhavishyati. Then you could have said becomes Brahman. In future tense. This is present tense. Bhavati is knower of Brahman, is Brahman. He always, even when he was not a knower of Brahman, he was Brahman. But he didn't know that. That's why he has to mention knower of Brahman is Brahman. Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahman is Brahman. Always. Not becomes Brahman. All English translations have it because the translator's thinking has come into the translation. That means what? It is not an objective translation. Yeah. Bhu bhava, to be, simple. Bhavati, third person singular, is. No, I can understand if it doesn't make sense. That by Lakshana Vakya, etc., you may have to do something. But it makes sense. Knower of Brahman is Brahman, correct? Why should it not make sense? Yeah. Na asya abhramavid kule bhavati. Here where the arthavada comes. Asya kule, in that person's family. Abhramavid na bhavati. There is no person who is not going to be not a knower of Brahman. Arthavada, exaggeration, praise. Okay? Highlighting that if there is a Brahmavid in the family, that influence will be felt across board. Unless the family members feel that one person is given up for Vedanta, I don't want to give another person for Vedanta. ऐसा भी होता है. That's why this has to be taken as Arthavada, exaggeration, to highlight the importance of knowing Brahman. That's all. Don't take it literally. Yeah. The mother is a Brahmavid. Guarantee the children will be Brahmavids? I don't want anything to do with that. I lost my mother to Brahman. All the day she is thinking only Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. There is no fun. If you have been a seeker like that, your children will have a problem. Not that if you are a seeker like me, having fun in life, also you will not have a problem. Because you will not be taken seriously enough. That's another problem that can come up. Okay? Why? It is not the message you give, it is the message they receive that matters. And they will receive it through their own subjectivity, through their own experiences, through their own samskaras. So that's okay. Okay? Yeah. Therefore, that's why we take it as Arthava, the exaggeration, to highlight the importance of people trying to know Brahman. Tarati shokam. Atmavid shokam tarati. Another way of putting it. Because any sukha you enjoy as an experience will have a dukkha lesha to it. Will be tainted a little bit by dukkha. Before I took sannyas, I had this group of friends. So I used to work hard as a teacher. Plus I used to do a lot of corporate training. So people don't realize it. I left home at 7 o'clock in the morning, gone, taken the corporate training, walked into a 7 o'clock class, finished the class, then gone home. Okay. or fly out early morning, get up at 4 o'clock, take the morning flight to Calcutta, take the whole program, etc., come back, reach home by 12 o'clock. And next day morning, Sunday 7 o'clock morning, Matunga class. Those days it was at 7. Then people started struggling to come at 7 because of TV. So I made it 8 o'clock. So sometimes you take a break. 3-4 days break, a few of our friends would go. All these intellectual activities, let's have a lot of physical activity. Go on a small trek or go on walking whole day out, trekking, this, that. Take a break. So one of the persons in the group would always say this, oh my God, we are gone for 3 nights, 4 days, okay? Small breaks, you can't take to take more breaks than that. Oh my God, 1 night is over. I said, are you having fun or not having fun? Oh, this is great, I am enjoying it. Dukkhalesha, 1 night is gone, only 2 more nights left. Minimum this much will be there. Because it's going to get over. Minimum, this dukkha will be there. Or you're looking at the price tag, lot of dukkha. Okay, oh my God, this is so expensive. Three days of holidays, whatever I earned last week in corporate training, gone. Dukkha, price to pay. Or you fight with somebody in the group. Some dukkha will always be there. That's called shokaha, grief. Dukkha lesha. Tat tarati, shokam tarati. Atmavit, shokam tarati. He goes beyond all sorrow. This dukkha lesha is not there. Why? Your ananda, your experience can be miserable. But your ananda going through miserable experience. And therefore you are fine. Because you are ananda. Experience is miserable. No? So उसमें क्या बड़ा बात है? Experience can be miserable. You are ananda. That's only if there is a certain nishtha in that, okay? Yeah, otherwise it doesn't happen. Therefore, miserable experiences cannot take away the fact you are ananda. Therefore, shokam tarati. That shokam tarati is a nice word because Narada goes as a student to study Vedanta. Okay? He goes to Sanat Kumara. And says, Shokasya param tarayatu. Take me beyond all grief. In fact, Sanat Kumara is surprised. He said, you, Narada, Triloka Sanchari, you got a visa to enter anywhere, any place, any dimension. Permanent visa, resident permit, everything you have. Heaven, hell. So he says, tell me what you don't know, so I can teach you what you know. Correct? Tell me what you know, so that I can teach you what you don't know. Be alert, okay? Be alert. I put it the other way around. So Narada gives him a list of all the things you know. And if you look at that list, you will be amazed. Because our image of Narada is from Hindi serials. He is shown as a joker, manipulator, etc. Did you know like Narada was a master of Dhanurvidya, master of archery, of martial arts? He is an expert warrior. Narada. You can't wrap your mind around that because Hindi film serials. They have misrepresented our culture totally. I am hearing the same things about Adi Purush. Supposed to be Ramayana remade. Okay. Watch it with a discerning eye if you are watching it. Anyway, So he gives a whole list. Bhuta Vidya, Preta Vidya. Bhuta Vidya is alchemist, physics of materials, etc. Preta Vidya is about ghosts, etc. The real bhutas. How to communicate with them, etc., etc., all that. So like this he gives a huge list. And he says, such a person, sochami, I am in grief, because with all this knowledge, my sense of limitation is not gone. I still suffer from my sense of limitation. Therefore, shokasya param tarayetu. Then Sanat Kumara presents as Bhuma Vidya, the knowledge of the limitlessness. Therefore, tarati shokam atmavit. Where else have you heard about Vedanta being presented as freedom from grief? और किधर सुना है? सुना है?
Bhagavad Gita.
In the Gita, yes. Yeah. Ashocyan anvashochaha tvam. The teaching starts like that. No? You're grieving over that which does not deserve grief. And the last verse of the teaching, ma shuchaha, therefore don't grieve. Because of all the teaching that has gone by, don't grieve. Yeah. Therefore, tarati shokam, tarati papmanam, tarati papmanam. All the wrong things I have done in my life. Oh my God, kya kya nahi kiya hai? Ask me what I have not done. That's easier than to tell you what I have done. And I heard this great ashwasam. Okay, fine. Tarati papmanam, you're free from all the papas that you have done. Right? Free from all the karmas. Karma is for a karta. You are not a karta or a bhokta. You are the pure consciousness. What karma is there for you? What karma is there? Tarati shokam, tarati papmanam. Guhya grantibhyo vimuktaha. Guhya granti. Previously we had seen that. Bridhyate hridaya grantihi. In Mundaka itself. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Avare jive param brahma drishte sati. If you have seen the jiva as param brahman, then what? Vidyate hridaya grantihi. What is hridaya grantihi? Avidya kama karma. That is presented as hridaya granti. Your ignorance because of which your notion of yourself as a finite being. That is a granti. Avidya alone is a granti, really speaking. Kama karma added on so that you will know the ramifications of it. Because I am a finite entity and I don't like to be finite, kama comes up. Because kama comes up, karma comes up. Because karma comes up, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam comes in. Then what you will do? You samsare, bahut you will cry to the Lord. ठीक है बाबा, रोया भगवान के साथ, और किधर रोएगा? And he sends you a guru. अभी बैठ के पढ़ो, अभी भी रोता ही है. You find plenty of people. They have fallen in love with their crying. You know, Vedanta is too dry, you know. There is no emotion in it. I remember my guru speaking in Gujarat once said this, you know. गुजराती लोग तो बहुत रोया है बैठ के. You have cried a lot. Okay. Yeah. Oh Lord, give me this, give me that, give me that. बहुत रोया है. अभी तो थोड़ा पढ़ लो. Dry your tears and study. Dry your tears and study. Then you will get the freedom that you want, the ananda that you want. But the people are so fallen in love with their crying that they don't want freedom. It's like this guy whom I know. 10 years back, he had a heart attack and they put 2 stents. Okay. did angioplasty, did put 2 stents in. And the doctor told him, take care of your health, don't, be careful of your diet, etc. Stop your smoking. मजा किधर है लाइफ में? मजा किधर है लाइफ में? Where is the fun in life if all that is gone? So if you've fallen in love with certain things, you don't always necessarily understand something greater that is being presented.
Guruji, can you please repeat? We lost you in the connection.
I know, I didn't say anything during that loss because a call came through and the connection is through my phone. So the connection got disrupted. Because you have fallen in love with certain roles that you play. Why am I saying all this? Because it's important to keep these things in mind, I remember one student coming to me. In fact, 2 guys came. Bright, nice people, nice guy. He was involved with art of living and all before. Okay. And see, I will speak about this a little bit in the Guru Purnima, this also probably, let me see. In the beginning, when the student comes, you will accept them, total acceptance first. Why? Because one of the biggest problems people face is lack of acceptance. My case, total acceptance. Most Vedanta teachers will have total acceptance. Then as the learning continues, if there is anything that can prevent you from understanding the truth, that will be corrected. Only that, nothing else. Your lifestyle, your this, all that is not a problem. Only what is preventing you from understanding Vedanta may be corrected. So with this guy also I did that. Like I do that with everyone, privately, one-on-one. Because I know publicly you won't be able to take it. Some people I do it publicly because they are tough enough to take it. And this guy I did privately. He got very upset. So he left me and went somewhere else. I was the 7th guy he came to. Now he is with the 12th person. And I remember reading an article of him. As a seeker, I know how to identify gurus. I said, Lay Baba, you are in so much in love with your identity as a seeker, you will never be able to identify a proper teacher. Why? Because the seeker identity also you have to drop. No? Because the teacher is not saying you are a seeker. Teacher is saying you are the sought, you are Brahman itself. What you seek is nothing but yourself. That is what the teacher is saying. Therefore, if you fall in love with your teacher, a seeker identity, atak jayega. Yeah, he is with the 12th teacher now. Not that I made a serious effort to keep track of him, but what I have to know, I come to know. What I don't know, I don't have to know. Okay. So, you are stuck with certain identities. No, to learn to drop that. Okay. Therefore, guha grantibhyo vimuktaha. Okay, after that what happens? Amruto bhavati. You are nothing but pure immortality itself. Again, translation, look at it. He attains immortality. Can you see that? The limitation of the translation. He is immortal. Freed from Guha Granthi, he is immortal, not attains immortality. This attains, etc., is putting it in future tense. When you put it in future tense, You will always pass it as an experience, as an event that has to happen. Whereas it is not something that has to happen. I remember sitting with Swami Chinmayanji once, years ago, before I joined the ashram itself. And Swami Chinmayanji had a habit. When you come to meet me, come with some questions to ensure that we all take studies seriously. Come with some questions. Because those days, teaching like this was not available. There was only study groups available. And he knew the limitations of study groups. Therefore, there will be questions. So Swami Chinmayanji sat down there. Come on, where are the questions? So one guy, a very senior study group sevak, he is no more, very senior man, conscious of his seniority. He said, Swamiji, I have been meditating for 20 years, nothing is happening. Swamiji looked at him. I am talking of Swami Chinmayanji, Gurudev, looked at him and laughed and said, nothing will happen. What has to happen has already happened. It took me back. I said, why is Swamiji saying that? Fir chamka thoda, tubelight. Arey Baba, that is true. It is not an event. It is not an event. It's something to be recognized. Then I looked at that guy. Did you get it? I'm a youngster, okay? 20-year-old, 19, 20-year-old. Did you get that? That guy was hurt. Swamiji dismissed me. I was just asking a question for everyone's knowledge. You want a hurt reaction or you want a learning reaction? Simple as that. Yeah. So, because we are putting it as an event, what Gurudev wanted to do was dismiss that, because he focused a lot on meditation, got people to meditate, because he knew unless these characters get a contemplative mind, they will never know the truth. Contemplative mind is not a serious mind. Contemplative mind is a quiet learning mind, whether you are roaring with laughter or sitting quietly. Either way, you are learning. A mind is at peace, in spite of all the noise around. Okay. Yeah. Swami Chinmayanji used to call it the calm center in the storm of all activities. So that mind. So he used to emphasize a lot on meditation. But he knew because of that people will put it as an event. He knew that. He was aware of that. That's why he said nothing will happen. It is not an event. He does not become immortal. Becoming immortal is an event. You cannot become immortal. You will remain mortal. Because becoming is a process of change. Immortality is freedom from time. And if it is a process within time, it is not immortal. It is mortal alone. So you cannot become immortal. You have to discover that you are untouched by time. Yeah. That you are not affected by time. That you are that consciousness unaffected by time. Once you get that, you get it. Otherwise you look for some experience, meditative, this, that, whatever. Chakkar mein giro. Go on a trip, lifelong. Yeah, it's not good to speak ill of dead, but I want to make people understand that. That's why I'm not mentioning names. The guy was around for another 20 years. He was still stuck in the same place. Because he had put it as an event to happen in the future. He sat down hearing Swami Chinmayanji. He heard Swami Dayanandji. He obliged sometimes by coming to our lectures. He obliged us by coming to our lectures. That was his attitude. But the guy remained the same. How can removal of ignorance cannot be an event? It is cognitive, that's it. Yeah. It may look like an event. Previously I had ignorance, now I don't have it. But it's not really an event. It is something very natural. You are ignorant about what is there in my pocket. Then I take it out. Taking my pen out is an event. Is a recognition of that an event? A recognition, or kya? Taking a pen out, you can say is an event. But recognition is recognition. You recognize what is in front of you. So in that sense, it's not an event. That's why you'll find modern Vedantins talking about event horizon and all that stuff. Event horizon where time and space is disturbed, all that thing. That's all good for particle physics. For particle physics, you can talk all that. That's good. But don't equate it with Vedanta. At quantum level, particle physics, you can talk about event horizon. When you're talking of interdimensional events, also you can talk about all that. But not in Vedanta. Vedanta is in all dimensions, is the same. Yeah. It's the fact that you have pure consciousness, nothing else. So, and recognizing that. And recognizing that is done in this dimension. Because we are all in the three-dimensional world. We are in between. 7 up, 7 down. We are here. We are in the up one. Okay, the first one. First step for the 7 up. 7 dimensions above, 7 dimensions below. That's it. 6 dimensions above then. So we are there. And in that dimension alone, you are supposed to know it. Recognize it, nothing more. Yeah. That is where the whole thing is. What is realization under a tree? Some stories and myths people have created. Bodhi tree meditation, etc. There's a Bodhi tree there. In Gaya, if you go, people sit down and meditate. What happens? Nothing happens. Now, Buddha was a person who would be with teachers. He didn't have any one teacher, okay? He didn't go and surrender to one teacher. So he would go, listen to all this. Then he'll go back, sit down under the tree and contemplate. The tree was his favorite place. He would sit down there and think about it. So one day it all clicked into place. So they say Buddha got realization under the Bodhi tree. Buddha never said that. Look at all the writings. Buddha never said that. People said that. So realization under a tree, realization on some mountain hill, some hilltop. Our latest guru talks about that, some hilltop. He had some experience there, Baba. Okay, fine. So if I have to write a book like that, I had an experience like that in the local train. चमका मेरे को उधर क्या करूँ? If Arjuna could get it on the battlefield, I can't get it on the local train. What? Long distance train, not local. Okay. But I don't want to highlight it as an experience. Not an experience, a recognition. Arey Baba, what an idiot I've been. This is what it is. Think it over. Good place to stop. Okay. Night is still young. Enjoy your dinner and everything. Yeah. Okay. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Swami.